Hey everybody, this is Frankie Garrett, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the national standards for quality online teaching. So currently these are separated into 8 standard categories. We have our professional responsibilities, digital pedagogy, community building, learner engagement, digital citizenship, diverse instruction, assessment and measurement, and our instructional design. So while I think all 8 of these are equally important for delivering quality online learning, I wanted to dive a little deeper into Standard D, learner engagement, because in my current role, most of the learning that I do is face-to-face, and it's very easy to see face-to-face if a learner is engaged in your content or, in the course. And so I was interested to hear some suggestions or best practices on how you can make sure that your learners are staying engaged or encouraging their engagement in an online or virtual platform. So Standard D, learner engagement, is then broken down into 7 standards of its own, and it says the online teacher promotes learner success through interactions with learners and other stakeholders, and by facilitating meaningful learner engagement in learning activities. So the first one says the online teacher uses digital tools to identify patterns in learner engagement and performance that will inform improvements to achieve individual learner growth. D2, the online teacher engages learner agencies. We want to meet these learners where they are. D3, the online teacher enables a learner customized pace and/or path through instruction aligned with learners' individual goals, learning trajectories, and interests. And this standard in particular goes very well with the blended learning models that we have been learning about as far as using the best path, pace, and time for the learner. D4, the online teacher establishes relationships through timely and encouraging communication. D5, the online teacher helps learners reach content mastery through instruction and feedback. D6, the online teacher ensures that learners have necessary course resources and information needed to navigate the learning platform and perform required tasks. And D7, the online teacher communicates frequently with stakeholders. So we're not talking about just communicating with our learners, but also for instance, in my role, this would be in my leadership team and talking to them or communicating with them about learner progress and how I'm supporting learner engagement. So the Online Learning Consortium had lots of great tips on how to encourage and maintain learner engagement. And the first one of those was to make contact. And so this might be something that you do before a course begins. You would maybe reach out to all of your prospective students or learners and just talk a little bit about the course, maybe what the expectations will be. Just give a little background about the course in general, but just being that first point of contact and also providing contact information can start to ease the student's mind that this is going to be something they'll be interested in, taught by a real person. And of course, you want to introduce yourself. Dr. Jones did a great video at the very beginning of this course where he introduced himself. He gave a little bit of information about his background and what he's doing currently, and it was very personable and personal. And this is a great way for a instructor to introduce themselves. Whether you have your face on the video or not, it does make you seem more like an actual person, behind that computer screen. And so there's many different things that you could include depending on how much detail you want to go into. But you also want to provide a place where students can introduce themselves to you and to one another. And so oftentimes through my grad school program that has been through Blackboard, through a discussion board post, but we've also used other resources for introducing ourselves and providing whatever level of information the instructor has requested. kind of piggybacking off that, you want to make sure that you have lots of places and opportunities for students to interact with one another. So they're not, taking this course in a vacuum. Um, so you can do that through discussion board posts. You can do that through platforms like Padlet or Flipgrid. These are great ways for students to record themselves or record audio so that they can speak to one another. You can also use something like a Zoom meeting, which is becoming more and more popular as more of us are going to remote working or working from home. And so that's a great way to provide that interaction that we may miss from not being in a regular classroom. Directions, being super concise and clear and direct, is really important in an online course. Some students, especially those that aren't familiar with an online or virtual platform, may sort of just veer off the path of getting things done timely if they're not understanding what their expectations are through your directions. So you want to make sure that you check and double check these. Make sure that you yourself could follow them easily if you were the student. Throughout the course, whether it's just a 4 to 6 hours of instruction or if it's 4 to 6 or 16 weeks of instruction, you want to take time to offer feedback. So oftentimes if you're in an academic course, feedback can come in the form of a grade for maybe an assignment or a quiz. But for my role, I don't grade my learners on the content. So there are other ways that I can offer feedback to them. I can do assessments through online learning, and although they wouldn't get a grade, they might get immediate feedback from the LMS telling them what they got right or wrong. And then I can also speak to them regarding those results and ask them maybe what they thought hindered them or helped them and what they want more help with going forward. And then, of course, no matter the size of your instructional time, you want to provide those reminders for what we're doing next, when it's due, why we're learning it, and just keep reminding them of things like that so that they don't veer off course. Most of my courses are at my job are a day or less worth of time, so 4, 6, 8 hours. But I can still give them reminders that this is what you need to finish for this portion, for this chunk, and then next time moving on, this is what we're going to be doing. And then you absolutely want to offer as much variety in your instruction as possible. With the multitude of resources that are available to us over the internet and through the web, there's no reason why we can't offer plenty of variety in our delivery and also in how they deliver their submissions back to us. So obviously we can link them out to other websites. We can maybe link them to a podcast where they're listening to content. We can make a video or link to a video. Of course, there's the just standard textbooks, whether we're linking that online or providing them a resource where to find it. And we want to make sure that there is variety because sometimes our attention spans in this busy world may be a little shorter. And so each time we change up how we're doing delivery, that sort of resets our attention span. So those are some tips that I found in doing some research into online learning best practice. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, I would love to hear them. So please, please, please leave me a reply. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.